How are you guys doing? Today is Thursday, September 9th, 2021, the day that virtually most Americans have been waiting for. Today is the very first day of the 2021 NFL season, along with other leagues still being in session. I'm James Sims, and for this episode of The Elite, I'm going to review the Elite matchups and performances from yesterday, Wednesday, September 8th, and I'm going to preview everything that's going on today as we navigate through the world of sports one day at a time. And of course, getting started with football, the defending Super Bowl champs, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, are going to host the Dallas Cowboys tonight at 8:20 on NBC. That will be the very first game of the 2021 season. And starting today, there will not be a Sunday without football. There will not be a weekend without football until February. So I know a lot of people are very happy that we are at this time of year. But looking outside of that, looking at what happened in the MLB yesterday, starting in Houston, the Houston Astros hosted the Seattle Mariners. Going into the ninth inning, the score was tied at 4. The Seattle Mariners would end up scoring 4 runs in the top of the ninth. They would get 2 off of a single from Jose Marmoleos to give them the lead, and a 2-run home run from J.P. Crawford would double that lead. For the Houston Astros, the start was given to Jose Urquidy. He allowed 2 earned runs in 3 innings pitched as he struck out 2. The loss was given to the Astros setup relief pitcher Ryan Pressly. Ryan Pressly would go on to allow 3 earned runs in .2 innings pitched. He would strike out 2 batters as he started off the ninth inning but did not finish it. With this loss, he's now 5-2 on the season. In the Astros batting lineup, their shortstop Carlos Correa would end up going 2 for 4. Their elite second baseman Jose Altuve went 1 for 5 with an RBI and a run as he hit his 27th home run of the season. Also, their elite pinch hitter Alex Bregman went 1 for 1 with an RBI and a run. He would hit his 9th home run of the season. And for the Seattle Mariners, the start was given to Tyler Anderson. Tyler Anderson would go on to allow 4 earned runs in 4.2 innings pitched. He would strike out 4 on the day. The win was given to the Mariners setup relief pitcher Diego Castillo. Castillo would allow no earned runs in the 8th inning as he struck out 3. With this win, he's 3-5. In the Mariners batting lineup, their shortstop J.P. Crawford went 2 for 5 with 2 RBIs and a run. He hit his 7th home run of the year. Their second baseman Abraham Toro went 2 for 5 with 2 RBIs and a run. Their center fielder Jared Kelenic would go 2 for 4 with 2 RBIs and a run. And then their left fielder Jose Marmoleos will go 2 for 5 with 2 RBIs and a run. With this win, the Seattle Mariners are 76-64. That is the second best record in the American League West. They've won 7 of their last 10 games. They trailed the Houston Astros by 5.5 games in the division, and they trailed the Boston Red Sox by 3 games for that second American League wildcard spot. At the moment, they only trail the Blue Jays, and they are the second team on the outside of the American League wildcard picture looking in. With this loss, the Houston Astros are 81-58. That is the best record in the American League West. They've lost 6 of their last 10 games as they sit 5.5 games ahead of the second-place Seattle Mariners. The Astros are holding on to that second seed in the American League playoff picture as they currently trail the first seed Tampa Bay Rays, and they sit ahead of the third seed Chicago White Sox. Jumping out to Denver, the site of the 2021 MLB All-Star Game, the San Francisco Giants would end up beating the Rockies 7-4. They would have to come from behind to pick up their 90th win of the season. Going into the 9th inning, the Rockies were leading 4-3. And then first, San Francisco will get a 2-run single from Lamont Wade for them to get a 2-1 lead over the Rockies. Once they were up 5-4, Evan Longoria's 2-run double would give the Giants the 7-4 lead that they would run away with. For the Rockies, the start went to John Gray. He allowed 3 earned runs in 5 innings pitched, striking out 8. The loss for Colorado would go to their setup relief pitcher, Carlos Estevez. Estevez allowed 4 earned runs in .2 innings pitched. He started the 9th inning but did not finish it. He would strike out both the batters he would get out, though. He would pick up his 5th blown save of the season, and with this loss, he's 2-4. In the Rockies batting lineup, their second baseman, Brendan Rodgers, went 2 for 5. There's catcher Elias Diaz went 2 for 4 with an RBI and 2 runs. He hit his 16th home run of the season. And for the San Francisco Giants, the start went to Anthony DeSclafani. He allowed 3 earned runs in 4.1 innings pitched as he struck out 5. The win was given to the San Francisco Giants setup relief pitcher Tyler Rogers. Rogers would allow no earned runs in 1 inning pitch, and with this win, he's now 6-1 on the year. The save would end up going to the Giants' closer, Jake McGee. Jake McGee would allow no earned runs in the 9th inning as he struck out 30. In the Giants' batting lineup, their first baseman, Brandon Belt, went 3 for 5 with 2 runs. Their left fielder, Lamont Wade Jr., went 2 for 4 with 2 RBIs and 2 runs. Their shortstop, Brandon Crawford, went 1 for 4 with 3 RBIs and a run as he hit his 20th home run of the year. With this win, the San Francisco Giants are now 90-50. They are the first team in the MLB to cross the 90-win threshold. They've won their last 4 games, and they've won 6 of their last 10. They currently sit 2 games ahead of the second-place Los Angeles Dodgers within the National League West. And as of right now, they're holding on to the number 1 seed in the National League, sitting ahead of the 2nd seed Milwaukee Brewers and sitting ahead of the 3rd seed Atlanta Braves. With this loss, the Colorado Rockies are now 63-77. That is the 4th best record in the National League. They've lost their last 4 games, and they've lost 7 of their last 10. They currently trail the San Francisco Giants by 27 games in the division as they are no longer able to win the division. They are eliminated from division contention, but they are still able to compete for the wild card. With their jumping out to Phoenix, the Arizona Diamondbacks from within the National League West faced off against the Texas Rangers, the worst team from the American League West. And in this matchup, the Rangers would end up beating the Diamondbacks 8-5 for the Arizona Diamondbacks. So pick up their 95th loss of the season. The loss would go to their starting pitcher, Luke Weaver. Luke Weaver allowed 3 earned runs in 5 innings pitched, striking out 4. With this loss, he's 3-4 on the season. In the Diamondbacks batting lineup, their catcher, Dalton Varsho, went 2 for 4 with an RBI. He was the only player on the team with more than 1 hit. For the Texas Rangers, the start went to Kohei Arihara. Arihara would allow 2 earned runs in 4.2 innings pitched as he struck out 3. The win was given to the Rangers' second relief pitcher in this matchup, Jarrell Cotton. He would allow 1 earned run in 1 inning pitched as he struck out a batter. He's now 1-0 on the season. The save was given to the Rangers' closer for the day, Joe Barlow. He allowed no earned runs in 0.1 inning pitched as he finished out the 9th. For the Rangers in this batting lineup, their first baseman, Nathaniel Lowe, went 3 for 5 with an RBI and 3 runs. Their second baseman, Nick Solak, went 2 for 3 with an RBI and 2 runs as well. With this win, the Texas Rangers are now 51-88. That is the worst record in the American League East. They've won their last 4 games, and they've won 7 of their last 10. They trail the Houston Astros by 30 games in the division, and they are one of 2 teams in the American League that are eliminated from playoff contention as of right now. With this loss, the Arizona Diamondbacks are now 45-55. That is the worst record in the National League West, and that is currently the worst record in all of baseball at the moment. They've lost their last 5 games, and they've lost 9 of their last 10. At the moment, they are one of 2 teams in the National League who are eliminated from playoff contention this season as they trail the San Francisco Giants by 45 games in the division. Jumping out to Cleveland, the Cleveland Indians hosted the Minnesota Twins. The Twins would end up beating the Indians 3-0, holding the Indians to only 1 hit all game. For Cleveland, the loss went to their starting pitcher, Triston McKenzie. Triston McKenzie would allow 1 earned run off of 3 hits in 6 innings pitched as he struck out 7. With this loss, Triston McKenzie is 4-6 on the season. And the only player for the Cleveland Indians to register a hit was Ahmed Rosario, their shortstop. He went 1 for 3. For the Minnesota Twins, the win would go to their starting pitcher, Joe Ryan. Joe Ryan allowed no earned runs and only 1 hit in 7 innings pitched as he struck out 4. With this win, he's now 1-1 on the season. The save was given to the Twins closer for the day, Tyler Duffy. He allowed no earned runs in the 9th inning, striking out 2. This would be his 3rd save of the year. in the Twins batting lineup. Nobody on the team finished with more than one hit. Their first baseman, Miguel Sano, went 1 for 4 with an RBI and a run as he hit his 25th home run of the season. With this win, the Minnesota Twins are now 62-77. They are tied with the Kansas City Royals for the worst record in the American League Central. They've won their last 4 games and they've won 5 of their last 10. At the moment, they trail the Chicago White Sox by 18 games in the division. And with this loss, the Cleveland Indians are now 68-69. That is the second best record in the American League Central. They've lost their last 3 games and they've lost 5 of their last 10. They trail the Chicago White Sox by 11 games in the division at the moment. Jumping out to Pittsburgh, the Pittsburgh Pirates hosted the Detroit Tigers. The Tigers would beat the Pirates 5-1. For the Pirates in this matchup, the loss would go to their starting pitcher, Mitch Keller. Mitch Keller would allow 4 earned runs in 5 innings pitched as he struck out 6. With this loss, he's 4-11 on the season. In the Pirates batting lineup, their shortstop, Kevin Newman, would end up going 2 for 3 with an RBI. For the Detroit Tigers, the start went to Matt Manning. He allowed an earned run in 3 innings pitched, striking out 4. The win was given to the Tigers' first relief pitcher, Drew Hutchison. He allowed no earned runs in 2 innings pitched, striking out a batter. With this win, he's 1-1. In the Tigers batting lineup, their left fielder, Robbie Grossman, went 4 for 5 with an RBI and 3 runs. He hit his 22nd home run of the season. Their future Hall of Fame first baseman, Miguel Cabrera, will go 4 for 4 with 3 RBIs. With this win, the Detroit Tigers are now 66-75. That is the 3rd best record in the American League Central. They've won 4 of their last 10 games as they now trail the Chicago White Sox by 15 games in the division. With this loss, the Pittsburgh Pirates are now 50-90. That is the worst record in the National League Central. They've lost 7 of their last 10 games as they trail the Milwaukee Brewers by 35.5 games in the division. As of right now, the Pirates are one of 2 teams in the National League who have officially been eliminated from 2021 playoff contention. Jumping out to Miami, the Miami Marlins hosted the New York Mets. And in a game that would go to the 10th inning, the Miami Marlins would walk off the Mets and win this game 2-1 off of a single from their outfielder, Brian De La Cruz. For the Miami Marlins, the start was given to for the New York Mets, the start was given to Rich Hill. He allowed 1 earned run and 5 hits in 6 innings pitched as he struck out 8. The loss was given to the Mets closer, Edwin Diaz. He allowed 1 run in the 9th inning as he struck out a batter. With this loss, he's 5-6. In the Mets batting lineup, nobody on the team would finish with more than 1 hit, as that would be attributed to great pitching from Miami. For the Marlins, the start went to Sandy Alcantara. He pitched 9 innings, allowing 1 earned run and striking out 14. The win would end up going to the Miami Marlins' only relief pitcher for the day, Anthony Bender. Anthony Bender would go on to allow no earned runs in the 10th inning as he struck out a batter. With his win, he's 3-2. In the Marlins batting lineup, their left fielder, Jorge Alfaro, went 2 for 4. Their center fielder, Brian De La Cruz, went 3 for 5 with an RBI and with a game-winning RBI and the run. And then their catcher, Alex Jackson, went 2 for 4 with a run. Also, their third baseman, Isan Diaz, would end up going 2 for 3 for himself. With this win, the Miami Marlins are 58-81. That is, they are tied with the Washington Nationals for the worst record in the National League East. They have now won 5 of their last 10 games as they trail the Atlanta Braves by 15.5 games in the division. With this loss, the New York Mets are 70-70. That is the 3rd best record in the National League East. They've lost 3 of their last 10 games as they trail the Atlanta Braves by 4 games in the division. And as of right now, they trail the San Diego Padres by 4.5 games for that 2nd National League wildcard spot, as they are the 4th team on the outside looking in. In addition to the Padres, who hold that spot, they trail the Cincinnati Reds, the Philadelphia Phillies, and the St. Louis Cardinals at the moment. Jumping out to Baltimore, the Baltimore Orioles hosted the Kansas City Royals, and they were able to pull off a 9-8 home win. All 9 of their runs were scored in the 8th inning in order to pick up their 45th win of the season. For the Kansas City Royals, the start would go to Mike Minor. Mike Minor allowed no earned runs and 5 hits in 6 innings pitched. He would strike out 3 batters on the day. The loss for Kansas City would go to their second relief pitcher, Josh Staumont. Staumont would allow 3 earned runs in .1 inning pitched. He would start the 8th inning, but of course not finish it. In the Royals batting lineup, their elite second baseman, Whit Merrifield, went 3 for 5 with 3 runs. Their shortstop, Nicky Lopez, went 2 for 5 with an RBI and a run. Their elite catcher, Salvador Perez, went 1 for 4 with an RBI and a run as he hit his 42nd home run of the year. Their left fielder, Andrew Benintendi, went 3 for 5 with 5 RBIs and a run, as Benintendi would hit his 13th home run and finish just a triple shy of the cycle. For the Baltimore Orioles, the start was given to Matt Harvey. He allowed 4 runs in 4.1 innings pitched as he struck out 2. The win was given to the Orioles' third relief pitcher on the day, Manny Barreda. Barreda would allow no earned runs in 1 inning pitched as he struck out a batter. With his win, he's 1-0. The save would go to the Orioles' closer, Tyler Wells. Wells allowed no earned runs in .1 inning pitch as he picked up his second save of the year. In the Orioles batting lineup, their first baseman Ryan Mountcastle went 2 for 5 with 2 RBIs and 2 runs. He hit his 26th home run of the season. Their center fielder Ryan McKenna would end up going 2 for 3. And then the Orioles third baseman Kelvin Gutierrez would end up going 3 for 4 with 2 RBIs and a run. With this win, the Baltimore Orioles are 45-93. That is the worst record in the American League East. They have now won their last 2 games, and they've won 5 of their last 10. They trail the Tampa Bay Rays by 42 games in the division, as they are one of 2 teams in the American League that have been eliminated from playoff contention this year. With this loss, the Kansas City Royals are now 62-77. That is the 4th best, or they are tied with the Minnesota Twins for the worst record in the American League Central. They've lost their last 2 games, and they've lost 7 of their last 10. Right now, they trail the Chicago White Sox by 18 games in the division. Jumping out to the Bronx, the New York Yankees hosted the Toronto Blue Jays. The Blue Jays would end up beating the Yankees 6-3. The score was tied at 3 going into the 7th inning. The Blue Jays would score a run in the 7th, 8th, and 9th innings to build up their 6-3 win. For the New York Yankees, the start was given to Luis Gil. Luis Gil would allow 3 earned runs in 3.1 innings pitched as he struck out 6. The loss was given to the Yankees' third relief pitcher, Clay Holmes. Holmes allowed 1 earned run in 1 inning pitch, striking out a batter, and with this loss, he's 6-3. For the Blue Jays, the start went to Alek Manoah. He allowed 3 earned runs in 4.2 innings pitched as he struck out 4. The win was given to the Blue Jays' first relief pitcher, Trevor Richards. Trevor Richards allowed no earned runs in an inning pitch as he struck out 2. With his win, he's 6-2. The save was given to the Blue Jays' closer, Jordan Romano. He would pitch the 9th inning, striking out a batter. This would be his 16th save of the season. In the Blue Jays batting lineup, their second baseman, Marcus Semien, went 2 for 3 with 2 RBIs and a run. Their elite first baseman, Vladimir Guerrero Jr., would end up going 2 for 4 with an RBI and a run as he hit his 41st home run of the year. With this win, the Toronto Blue Jays are 76-62. That is the 4th best record in the American League East. They've won their last 7 games, which is currently the best winning streak in all of baseball right now. And they have won 9 of their last 10 games. They trailed the Tampa Bay Rays by 11 games in the division, as at the moment they are trailing the Boston Red Sox by 2 games for that second wild card spot, just to get a sense of where they are sitting, especially at this very moment. Right now, they sit a game and a half behind the Yankees. They're the first team on the outside looking in. With this loss, the New York Yankees are 78-61. That is the 3rd best record in the American League East. They've lost their last 5 games, and they've lost 8 of their last 10. At the moment, they trail the Tampa Bay Rays by 9.5 games in the division, just to give a sense of where the Yankees sit, and they are sitting half a game behind the Boston Red Sox, who are sitting in that first wild card spot, and they sit a game and a half ahead of the Toronto Blue Jays, who are the first team outside of the wild card spot. Jumping out to Boston, the Boston Red Sox hosted the Tampa Bay Rays, the best team in baseball. The Red Sox would end up beating the Rays 2-1 as all three of the runs in the game were scored in the 8th inning. For the Tampa Bay Rays, the start was given to Shane McClanahan. He allowed no earned runs and 3 hits in 5 innings pitched. He would strike out 3 on the day. The loss would end up going to the Rays closer, JT Chargois. Chargois would allow 1 earned run in the 8th inning, and with this, he would pick up his 4th blown save of the season, and with this loss, he's 5-1. In the Rays batting lineup, their second baseman, Brandon Lau, went 2 for 3 with a run, and then for the Boston Red Sox, the start went to Nate Eovaldi. He allowed no earned runs off of 3 hits and 7 innings pitched as he struck out 8. The win was given to the Red Sox second relief pitcher, Garrett Richards, as he allowed no earned runs in .1 inning pitch, striking out 1 as he finished out the 8th. With this win, he's 7-7. The save would go to the Red Sox closer, Hansel Robles. He allowed no earned runs in the 9th inning as he picked up his 12th save of the season, striking out 2 for the day. In the Red Sox batting lineup, their right fielder, Hunter Renfroe, went 2 for 4 with 2 RBIs and a run. His 2 RBIs came from his 27th home run of the season, and with this win, the Red Sox are now 80-62. That is the second best record in the American League East. They are the 4th team in the American League to cross the 80-win threshold. They've won 5 of their last 10 games as they trailed the Tampa Bay Rays by 9 games in the division. They're holding on to the top American League wildcard spot as they sit half a game ahead of the second-place New York Yankees. With this loss, the Tampa Bay Rays are now 88-52. That is still the best record in the American League East. They have lost 4 of their last 10 games as they sit 9 games ahead of the second place Boston Red Sox in the division. Right now, they're holding that number 1 seed over the second seed Houston Astros and the 3rd seed Chicago White Sox. Jumping out to Atlanta, the Atlanta Braves hosted the Washington Nationals, and the Nationals would get one on the Braves. They won this one 4-2 as both teams finished with 6 hits on the day. For the Atlanta Braves, the start went to Touki Toussaint. He allowed 2 runs in 3 innings as he struck out 3. The loss would go to the Braves' third relief pitcher, Richard Rodriguez. Rodriguez would go on to allow an earned run in 1 inning as he was unable to strike out a batter. With this loss, Rich Rodriguez is 4-3 on the season. In the Braves batting lineup, their right fielder, Jorge Soler, would go 3 for 4. He was the only player on the team with more than 1 hit. Their center fielder, Adam Duvall, would end up going 1 for 4 with an RBI and a run. He hit his 33rd home run of the season yesterday. For the Washington Nationals, the start was given to Sean Nolan. Sean Nolan would allow no earned runs in .1 inning pitched. He'd only register 1 out. He would get pulled. The win would go to the Nationals' 4th relief pitcher on the day, Austin Voth. Austin Voth would allow 1 earned run in 1.2 innings pitched. He would strike out 3 batters on the day. After picking up his 4th blown save of the year, he would win his 4th game of the year. He's now 4-1 on the season. The save would go to Kyle Finnegan. Finnegan allowed no earned runs in the 9th inning as he struck out 2. With this save, he now has 8 on the year. In the Washington Nationals batting lineup, their elite right fielder, Juan Soto, went 2 for 5 with an RBI and a run. He hit his 25th home run of the season yesterday. He was the only player with a multi-hit game. And with this win, the Washington Nationals are 58-81. They are tied with the Miami Marlins for the worst record in the National League East as they've won 3 of their last 10 games. At the moment, they trail the Atlanta Braves by 15.5 games in the division. With this loss, the Atlanta Braves are now 73-65. That is the best record in the National League East as they've lost 6 of their last 10 games. They still sit 2.5 games ahead of the second place Philadelphia Phillies in the division, and they are holding on to that 3rd seed in the National League playoff picture, trailing the 1 seed San Francisco Giants and the 2 seed Milwaukee Brewers. Jumping out to Chicago, the Chicago Cubs hosted the Cincinnati Reds, and in a game that went all the way down to the 10th inning, the Chicago Cubs would walk it off on a 3-run home run from Jason Hayward to win the game. For the Cincinnati, the score was 4-1. They won the game 4-1. For the Cincinnati Reds, the start was given to Vlad Gutierrez. He allowed 1 earned run and 2 hits in 5 innings pitched as he struck out 6 batters on the day. The loss was given to the Reds closer, Brad Brach. Brach would allow 3 runs without registering an out in the 10th inning at all. With this loss, he's 0-2 on the season. In the Reds batting lineup, their rookie second baseman Jonathan India went 2 for 4. He was the only player on the Reds with more than 1 hit. For the Chicago Cubs, on the other hand, the start went to Alec Mills. Alec Mills allowed an earned run and 4 hits in 6 innings pitched as he struck out 3. The win was given to their closer, Cody Hoyer. Cody Hoyer would allow no earned runs in 2 innings pitched. He pitched the 9th and 10th innings, striking out 2. With this win, he's 7-2 on the year. In the Cubs batting lineup, nobody on the team would finish with more than 1 hit. However, their left fielder Ian Happ would go 1 for 4 with an RBI and a run as he hit his 21st home run, and Jason Hayward's game-winning 3-run home run was his 8th of the year. With this win, the Chicago Cubs are now 65-76. That is the 4th best record in the National League Central. They've won 8 of their last 10 games as they now trail the Milwaukee Brewers by 21 games in the division at the moment. And with this loss, the Cincinnati Reds are 74-67. That's the 2nd best record in the National League Central. They've lost 7 of their last 10 games as they now trail the Milwaukee Brewers by 12 games in the division. And they trail the San Diego Padres by 1 game in the National League wildcard race as the Reds are the first team on the outside looking in. Jumping out to Milwaukee, the Milwaukee Brewers hosted the Philadelphia Phillies, and the National League Central leaders were able to pull off a 4-3 win. The score was tied at 3 until the bottom of the 6th, where Eduardo Escobar's solo home run would break the lead and give the Brewers the win. For the Philadelphia Phillies, the start went to Kyle Gibson. Kyle Gibson allowed 3 earned runs in 4.2 innings pitched as he struck out 5. The loss was given to the Phillies' first relief pitcher, Connor Brogdon. Brogdon allowed an earned run in 1.2 innings pitched as he finished off the 5th and 6th innings. He would strike out a batter, and with this loss, he's 5-4. In the Phillies batting lineup, nobody on the team would finish with more than 1 hit. However, their elite right fielder, Bryce Harper, went 1 for 1 as he walked 3 times. In his only hit, he also has 2 RBIs and a run as his hit would be his 29th home run of the season. For the Milwaukee Brewers, the start went to Freddie Peralta. He allowed 3 runs in 3.2 innings pitched as he struck out 4. The win was given to the Brewers' second relief pitcher on the day, Aaron Ashby. Ashby would allow no earned runs in 2 innings pitched as he struck out a batter. With this win, he's now 2-0. The save would go to the Brewers' elite closer, Josh Hader. He allowed no earned runs in the 9th inning as he was unable to strike out a batter, and he walked 2. This would be his 30th save of the season. And in the Brewers batting lineup, their second baseman, Colton Wong, went 2 for 4 with a run. Their third baseman, Eduardo Escobar, went 2 for 3 with an RBI and 2 runs. He hit his 25th home run of the season. With this win, the Milwaukee Brewers are 86-55. That is the best record in the National League Central as they've won their last 2 games and they've won 7 of their last 10. They have this 3rd best record in the National League, but they're holding on to the 2nd seed in the National League playoff picture, trailing the 1st seed San Francisco Giants and sitting ahead of the 3rd seed Atlanta Braves. With this loss, the Philadelphia Phillies are now 71-68. That is the 2nd best record in the National League East as they've lost their last 2 games. They've lost 4 of their last 10. They trailed the Atlanta Braves by 2.5 games in the division, and they trailed the San Diego Padres by 3 games for that 2nd wildcard spot as they only trail these Cincinnati Reds as they are the 2nd team on the outside looking in. Jumping out to St. Louis, the St. Louis Cardinals hosted the defending World Series champs LA Dodgers. And in this matchup, the Cardinals will beat the Dodgers 5-4 after the Cardinals were able to score 3 runs early on and keep that lead. For the LA Dodgers, the loss would go to their starting pitcher, Mitch White. Mitch White would allow 4 earned runs in 5 innings pitched, striking out 6. With this loss, Mitch White is 1-3 on the year. In the Dodgers batting lineup, their all-star third baseman, Max Muncy, went 2 for 4 with an RBI and 2 runs. He hit his 31st home run of the season. Their elite right fielder, Mookie Betts, went 2 for 4 with a run. Their elite shortstop, Corey Seager, went 2 for 4 with 2 RBIs for himself. For the St. Louis Cardinals, the win went to their starting pitcher, Adam Wainwright. He allowed 4 earned runs off of 7 hits in 8.1 innings pitched as he struck out 4. With this win, he's now 15-7 on the season. The save will go to Giovanni Gallegos, who would finish off the 9th inning for Wainwright. He allowed no earned runs in 0.2 innings pitched as he struck out a batter. With this save, Giovanni Gallegos now has 5 saves on the year. In the Cardinals batting lineup, their catcher Yadier Molina went 2 for 3 with 2 RBIs and 2 runs. The future Hall of Famer hit his 10th home run of the season. Their shortstop, Edmundo Sosa, will be the only other player with a multi-hit game as he went 2 for 4 with an RBI. With this win, the St. Louis Cardinals are now 70-68. That is the third best record in the National League Central as they've won 4 of their last 10. They trailed the Milwaukee Brewers by 14.5 games in the division. And at the moment, they trail the San Diego Padres by 3.5 games for that second wildcard spot, as the Cardinals are the third team on the outside looking in, trailing the Cincinnati Reds and the Philadelphia Phillies. With this loss, the LA Dodgers are now 88-52. That is the second best record in the National League West. That's also the second best record in the National League, and it's tied with the Tampa Bay Rays for the second best record in all of baseball. They've lost 4 of their last 10 games as they now trail the San Francisco Giants by 2 games in the division. And right now they're holding on to the top National League wildcard spot, sitting 13 games ahead of the San Diego Padres, who are holding on to that second seed. Jumping out to San Diego, the San Diego Padres hosted the other LA team, the LA Angels. In this matchup, the San Diego Padres would beat the Angels 8-5 after scoring all 8 of their runs in the second inning. For the LA Angels, the loss would go to their starting pitcher, Mike Mayers. Mike Mayers would allow 2 earned runs in 1.2 innings pitched as he struck out 1. With this loss, he's now 4-5 on the season. In the Angels batting lineup, nobody on the team would finish with more than 1 hit. However, their right fielder, Juan Lagares, went 1 for 4 with 2 RBIs and a run as he hit his 25th home run of the season. For the San Diego Padres, the win would go to their elite starting pitcher, Yu Darvish. He allowed 1 earned run off of 3 hits and 6 innings pitched as he struck out 7. With this win, he's 8-9 on the season, and the save would go to the Padres closer, Mark Melancon. Melancon would allow no earned runs in 1 inning pitched as he picked up his 37th save of the year. In the Padres batting lineup, their shortstop, Jake Cronenworth, went 2 for 4 with an RBI and a run. Their all-star second baseman, Adam Frazier, went 2 for 4 with 3 RBIs. With this win, the San Diego Padres are now 74-65. That is the third best record in the National League West, as they have now won 6 of their last 10 games. They trailed the San Francisco Giants by 15.5 games in the division as they are holding on to that second National League wildcard spot, sitting 13.5 games behind the first place LA Dodgers, and they sit 1 game ahead of the Cincinnati Reds, who are the first team on the outside of the wildcard picture looking in. With this loss, the Los Angeles Angels are 69-71. That is the 4th best record in the American League West as they've lost 4 of their last 10 games. They trailed the Houston Astros by 12.5 games in the division. And right now, the Angels are the 5th team on the outside looking in the American League side. Last but not least, jumping up to the Bay Area, the Oakland Athletics hosted the AL Central leading Chicago White Sox, and the A's would end up beating the White Sox 5-1 to get their 80th win of the season, or to get their 75th win of the season. For the Chicago White Sox, the loss went to their elite starting pitcher, Dallas Keuchel. He allowed 5 earned runs and 5.2 innings pitched as he struck out 3 batters. With this loss, he's now 8-9. In the White Sox batting lineup, their catcher, Yasmani Grandal, will go 2 for 4. And then additionally, their right fielder, Brian Goodwin, went 2 for 4 for himself. For the Oakland Athletics, the start was given to Frankie Montas, and he also picked up the win as well. He allowed 1 earned run and 6 hits in 7 innings pitched as he struck out 7. With this win, he's now 12-9 on the season. In the A's batting lineup, their left fielder, Mark Canha, will go 2 for 4 with a run. Their catcher, Yan Gomes, will go 2 for 3 with an RBI and a run for himself as well. And with this win, the Oakland Athletics are now 75-64. That is the 3rd best record in the American League West as they've won 5 of their last 10 games. At the moment, they sit 6 games behind the Houston Astros in the division, and they trail the New York Yankees by 2.5 games for that American League wildcard spot, because right now that is about where they sit. With this loss, the Chicago White Sox are now 80-59. That is the best record in the American League Central. They've lost 4 of their last 10 as they sit 11 games ahead of the second place Cleveland Indians in the division, just to get a sense for how good the White Sox have been thus far. that is what the MLB is looking like following yesterday's matchups as we take a look at what's going on today. Starting at 1:15, Jake Woodford and the St. Louis Cardinals are going to host Tony Gonsolin and the LA Dodgers. At 3:37, Sean Manaea and the Oakland Athletics are going to host Reynaldo Lopez and the Chicago White Sox. Sean Manaea enters his matchup with an 8-9 record, holding a 3.91 ERA. At 6:10, Cal Quantrill and the Cleveland Indians are going to host Randy Dobnak and the Minnesota Twins. Quantrill enters his matchup with a 4-3 record, holding a 3.15 ERA. At 6:40, Jesus Luzardo and the Miami Marlins are going to host Marcus Stroman and the New York Mets. Marcus Stroman enters his matchup with a 9-12 record, holding a 2.93 ERA. At 7:05, Ranger Suarez and the Philadelphia Phillies are going to host Antonio Senzatella and the Colorado Rockies. Ranger Suarez enters his matchup holding a 6-4 record and a 1.38 ERA. At the same time, at 7:05, John Means and the Baltimore Orioles are going to host Carlos Hernandez and the Kansas City Royals. Carlos Hernandez enters his matchup with a 5-1 record, holding a 3.57 ERA. John Means is 5-6 with a 3.47 ERA as he enters this game. And last but not least, at 7:05, at the same time, Nestor Cortez Jr. and the New York Yankees are going to host Jose Barrios and the Toronto Blue Jays. Barrios enters his matchup with a 10-7 record, holding a 3.55 ERA. And then last but not least, at 7:20, Huascar Ynoa and the Atlanta Braves are going to host Eric Fedde and the Washington Nationals. Huascar Ynoa enters his matchup with a 4-5 record, holding a 3.19 ERA. And also taking a look at what's been going on in the world of soccer, as a lot of countries have been competing for World Cup qualifying. Starting off with North America, before I leave the continent, Canada was able to beat El Salvador 3-0. Second goal from Jonathan David, one of the French Ligue 1's best young stars. Mexico was able to draw with Panama 1-1. Jamaica drew with Costa Rica 1-1, and the United States was able to beat Honduras 4-1. Looking at what happened in the UEFA or in Europe qualifying league, Belgium was able to beat Belarus 1-0 off of their 33rd minute goal from Praet. Also, Germany was able to beat Iceland 4-0. Their first goal will come from their elite forward, Serge Gnabry. Their second will come from their center defensive back for Chelsea, Antonio Rudiger. Their third goal will come from their elite winger, Leroy Sané, and then their last goal will come from their elite striker, Timo Werner. And then Italy would end up beating Lithuania 5-0. Moise Kean would end up scoring a brace for them in the first half. Spain would end up beating Kosovo 2-0 as Fornals and Ferran Torres would combine to help get them 3 points. Poland was able to draw with England 1-1. Harry Kane scored an amazing goal for England to take the lead, and then Robert Lewandowski's assist to the header in the 92nd minute would help Poland draw with the game. So that's everything that's going on with yesterday as we look forward to what's going on today. Starting in South America, Uruguay is going to face off against Ecuador. Argentina, Bolivia at 7:30, Brazil, Peru at 8:30, and that's virtually what's going on today as we inch through the season one day at a time. With that said, today is Thursday, September 9th, the day before my 22nd birthday. I want to thank everyone once again for listening to this piece. I hope all is well. Once all of today's exhibitions and matches are done, I'm actually going to drop that episode on the 11th because I don't do episodes on my birthday. I'm sorry, I apologize. But, just the birthday thing. But with that said, I want to thank everyone once again. I want to thank the MLB, FIFA, and NFL websites for giving me what I needed in order to complete this episode. And with that said, thanks once again for listening to this piece. I hope all is well, and I will catch you with an elite profile right after this. And with that said, peace, and I'll catch you tomorrow.